Hello everyone and welcome to the Two Oceans Marathon Route Guide. I'm Ross Tucker and we're taking you through the strategic parts of the route so that you can make the most of your race plan and capitalize on all the training you've done. Today we're looking at one of the most crucial parts of the race, which you may not necessarily have thought was a key part where your race could unravel, and that's the descent of Chapman's Peak. And it's here that so many people, from the elite to the sub 7-hour runner, lose the tactical plan of their race by pushing too hard and then paying that price when they climb Constantia Neck just a few kilometers later. So it's really, really important to exercise discipline and patience and hold yourself back even when you think you are going slowly enough. We took our cameras onto the route and let's talk you through some of those key sections of the descent of Chapman's Peak. So we've just summited and I'm speeding the clip up because this section, for at least the first 3 kilometers of the descent, is relatively innocuous in the sense that it doesn't present you with anything different other than a constant gradual descent. The problem with that is that it's so tempting to push hard. You've just climbed Chapman's Peak, perhaps you feel that you've lost a little bit of time, and your mind is telling you that now's your chance to make up that lost time. And that is honestly one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because if you go too hard here, you load your legs so much that by the time you hit Hout Bay in a few kilometers' time and then begin the slow climb up Constantia Neck, you will be paying it back with interest. So again, at the risk of sounding like a stuck record, you have to be patient and you have to exercise discipline. As I said, even the elite athletes at this point will surge and try to break their rivals, but they almost always pay for it in a few kilometers' time. So hold yourself back. Rather just enjoy the views, enjoy the moments and the camaraderie of all the other runners with you on one of the most beautiful sections of road anywhere in the world. Once you get to these pace stations, the steepness of the descent increases quite dramatically at some points, and it's here that you especially have to pay attention to your pace. At the risk of being overly conservative, my advice would be that you try to run this descent at more or less the same average pace as your whole race should be. So in other words, if your target is to average 6 minutes a kilometer, I would suggest that you run this descent at 6 minutes a kilometer rather than speeding up to, say, 5. Now that might seem frustrating and too slow, but I guarantee you that your legs will thank you, and therefore I hope me, when you get to the finish line feeling a little bit stronger. Another thing to be mindful of here is the wind. If it's windy, again, it shifts direction fairly often, and so you'll have headwinds followed by tailwinds. When you have a tailwind, don't get caught into going too quickly with it. Another key technical tip for you when you are running those steep descents is to avoid the 2 leaning mistakes. The first one is that you can lean too far forward, because if that happens, then gravity will get hold of you and you'll be running as fast as Felix Baumgartner fell from the edge of space. That's not a good idea because you'll pound your legs before the climb of Constantia Neck. The other mistake that people make is they lean too far backwards to try and slow down, and when you do that, it means that you land way out in front of your center of mass. That's a bad idea because it means that the braking forces backwards are so large and your quads are basically taking all your body weight. So what you need to do is concentrate rather on trying to lower your hips straight down. And that's something that I suggest you practice in your training runs so that when you get to Chapman's Peak, you can control your speed by using good running technique. Once you get down to the bottom of Chapman's Peak, you'll be in Hout Bay, and now's a good time to gather yourself, top up on energy, top up on fluids, because this is where the gradual climb, followed by Constantia Neck, will begin.